Hello, friends, and welcome back to Too Many Minis. My name's Ozzy. I'm still wearing my party hat for Warhammer Fest. We've had the second lot of reveals of, I think, five reveal streams over the 3-day weekend. And we've just had Middle-earth, Warcry, and Underworlds. For Underworlds, they've got a Nighthawk warband that they revealed. It's pretty cool. It's just four guys. They're all themed around this kind of Nagash's executioning sword terminus, a sentient executioner's blade. And so they all have this. Here's the sharpener with his whetstone. I can't remember what this guy's doing. Raising some dudes. I think he's a necromantic kind of guy. This is reading out your judgment. Death. You're going to die. And this guy's got the chopping block to lay your head on. A nice little warband, not super exciting, but I think Nighthawk always look great. They're really good models, and these are no exception. They also showed a roadmap with a new starter set coming alongside this Headsman's Curse set in the summer, a new Chaos warband in autumn, and a new core box with two new warbands, a new Destruction warband in winter, and new Rivals decks. Two new Rivals decks in their summer and winter as well. So a solid look ahead for what's coming for Underworlds. Underworlds still going. It's not as mad as it was at some points, but there's still a fair bit coming for it. So I get the impression from down the club and things that Underworlds is in quite a happy place at the moment. Warcry gets the last of its boxes, we assume the last Nightmare Quest, which has Stormcast Eternals warband of kind of like a little crack team of shock troops go in and extract important things. And they face these weirdo flesh eater warbands, weirdo flesh eaters with these cool, like, baboon dog looking things. Some of this stuff was leaked recently, and there were these kind of vampire bat looking creatures that aren't in here, so I don't know what they're going to be. I guess they're going to be coming up. But these are quite nice models. I'm really into these super weird dogs. They're cool. Offal hounds, I think they were called. And then you've got more great terrain. I really wish I had been getting all these Warcry boxes just for the terrain. I think this kind of bamboo stuff now with this ziggurat, it just all adds up to an amazing table. I haven't seen anybody who's done tables across all the four sets and really collected all the terrain and made it dense and whatever, but I think it's great stuff. I think we're living in the golden age of Games Workshop terrain kits, and Warcry is really near the forefront of that. Warcry also gets a roadmap. This box coming in spring, so soon for that one. And you start a set in summer. So for new players, they were saying that's not going to be new models. That's going to be just like a kind of consolidated starter set. That makes sense. 4 new warbands in autumn. It says Order versus Destruction. Would that suggest they're moving away from the kill team style model they've been doing for the last year of 1v1 boxes with terrain? Probably, if it says 4 new warbands there. But that may just be 2 boxes, but I don't know. 2 new warbands, Order versus Death in winter. 2 new warbands, TBC in spring. So it's a big year of releases for Warcry, I think. That's a lot. 4 new warbands in autumn, both Order versus Destruction. To me, that suggests it's not going to be boxed game style. I don't think that's going to be 2 boxed games with terrain. Maybe it will, but that doesn't seem likely to me. So solid releases and roadmaps for Underworlds and Warcry. Here's something for you right now, and here's what we're getting in the next year. Now, Middle-earth doesn't get that. Middle-earth gets a diorama piece from Forge World. Get off the road with the fantastic, iconic moment where the hobbits cower under a tree as the Black Rider sniffs them out, and Frodo valiantly attempts not to put the ring on while all the bugs crawl around and he goes a bit, eyeball-y. This is a really impressive diorama model. Not sure about the paint job on it that's necessarily showing it off in its best light, but the horse is very hairy. I'm not sure I'm crazy about this, but I may get it. I think it's a great piece, but like it's a little not what I was expecting. It has that thing that Forge World do of having the removable base, so the Ringwraith can come out and be a Ringwraith on his own if you need more Ringwraiths for your collection. And that'll probably tip me towards getting this. Although I shudder to think what the price will be. It's a big lump of resin, and Forge World resin is expensive. You know, I think you're looking at this is kind of the size of a Space Marine Primarch collector's model. I'm anticipating this being quite an expensive model, but that's it. That's all we got for Middle Earth. And they said on the stream, there's lots in the pipeline, there's lots of exciting stuff coming, but we are unable to share that with you. And I think in the Q&A, according to our man on the scene, they mentioned the word media, like there were some constraints on them because of things, media things. And that, obviously there's the changing of the rights holders for Middle-earth Enterprises. That might be it. But it does kind of, with the Amazon deal, with Games Workshop making shows for Amazon Prime, or Amazon Prime making shows about Games Workshop IP, that and this does slightly switch the focus back towards Rings of Power. And are they going to get the Rings of Power license and do Rings of Power minis? That seems to be back on the table, which there's pros and cons to that. I really like Rings of Power. I'm fine with them taking some liberties with the book when converting it to TV form. I think it's visually fantastic. I've enjoyed the story. I've enjoyed the characters and the acting. The dialogue is meh, but it's fine. Does the job. I've really enjoyed it. And most importantly to me, I really like a lot of the character design, the armor design, costumes, scenery, which is what comes into play with the miniatures game in a way. So I'd be plenty up for a Rings of Power game. Whether it's merged in with the range or whether it's a separate thing, kind of Horus Heresy style. But some people really hate Rings of Power. Really, really hate it. It ruins their life. And it's sad to have to see all of that in the fandom. I don't want Lord of the Rings to become like Star Wars fans, where everything is just horrible and toxic and miserable and hate-filled, and I'd hate that. So, I don't know. It's a mixed bag for me if that is coming on the table. But I would love to see some minis. If it's not that, what's holding it up? And there's a lot of people on WhatsApps, on Facebook, whatever, being like, why did they hype us up for this? They didn't hype us up. They just put Middle-earth on the menu. But I think probably it was a mistake. They shouldn't have put Middle-earth on the menu for this. Until very recently, until they put the schedule up, there was no mention of Middle-earth at Warhammer Fest, and that kind of would have been fine. Last year we got the Belnings released, and it was kind of like a happy bonus. This feels like we were there on the slate with all the other games with sort of parity, equal billing, and while they're getting like a decent release and a roadmap, we're kind of getting the anti-roadmap, being like, there's stuff coming, but we can't tell you when any of it is or when it's going to arrive. And it does feel a bit like we're in the dark at the moment. I understand there's a lot more licenses involved, and whereas Games Workshop with their own IP, they can do things on their own time frame. They can do things as and when they please internally. Whereas with the Middle-earth license, they're restricted by a number of license holders as to what they can do when. And if they're adding Rings of Power, that would be more complications. I also know that the Middle-earth team doesn't just work on Middle-earth. They have other jobs to do at the moment, on other games. But the impression people have had is people I've seen like this model, they like this collector's model, but the fact that we were on the bill there alongside these other games, that we know a number of them are getting new boxes and new big moments, it makes it feel a bit underwhelming. And yeah, I do understand that, people being disappointed. I think it probably would be best to just do this on a Warhammer community article and not make it part of the Warhammer Fest. But I don't want to be too negative. I don't really like all that super negative stuff in my YouTubes. I would love to see Rings of Power. I'd love to see whatever's coming next. I'm really baffled though now because we had this kind of like, is it going to be Angmar Arnor? There were a couple of things pointing towards that. There were a couple of things pointing towards the Last Alliance supplement with the Elrond and the Glorfindel. And then there was some talk of a Quest for Erebor or There and Back Again kind of Hobbit version of the Quest of the Ringbearer supplement, sort of tie them together, fill in the gaps for the narrative scenarios across the Hobbit story. That makes sense too. But now I just don't know. I don't know what's going to come next. It's a weird one. I think no one was particularly impressed with a £30 Forge World statue head, which was released yesterday. And this coming the day after, I don't know, just feels like a lot of expensive Forge World stuff that's nice, but it's going to be hard at its price point to feel super great about it. and it's not adding anything to the game, the actual playing the game side of it. Let me know what you think. I'm still super hyped for what's coming next, but it's pushed further into the future, so I have to maintain my hype. Like it's not today's not the day for being like, woo, I'm gonna plan ahead, this is what I'm gonna do the rest of this year. Even if they said like you'll get something in autumn, you don't have to say what it is, but I'll be like, okay, so I'm not gonna get something before, so I'll play some other games until then. Well, I'm gonna play Lord of the Rings anyway, but I mean I can buy some other stuff, I can do what it's really hard to not know. But my focus next up will be on the Forge World reveals tomorrow. That's Horus Heresy and the Old World. Very excited about the Old World, but I'm not sure what they're going to show or what they're going to be, how they're going to be going with it, how much of it's going to be new models and how much of it's going to be bringing old models back. I think I'm more excited about new models. And Heresy, I don't know what they're going to do for regular Heresy. I would like some more troop options. I'm very interested to see if they're doing Epic and if we're going to hear anything about that, because it's been a very much a rumoured thing, but I'll believe it when I see it. It seems very old-fashioned, weird, different thing for Games Workshop to be doing. But I'm up for it, so I'm excited to see about that. That'll be tomorrow. Probably be streaming tonight, talking about all the reveals from today, having a paint and stuff. So tune in this evening. Probably going to be 8:30, 9 o'clock UK time. I might retire my hat for the rest of the day. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. When we get those subscribers up to 1,000, do a giveaway. Should we do more Games Workshop vouchers? Should we do like a Forge World voucher? A choice? We'll see. I'll work something out for 1,000 subscribers. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.